So today's video is a big one. I think you're going to get so much value from this. Last month, I held a marketing conference here in London, and I invited 15 of my millionaire marketing friends to take the stage and share their secrets to how they are scaling their seven-figure businesses right now. There were so many takeaways in the room. It is so hard to choose which ones I want to feature here in this video, but I have them. I have 7 that I want to share with you. 7 things that myself or some of my speakers, including Neil Patel, shared from stage that is going to transform and change and help the way that you market online to generate new clients. And I've designed this list in such a way that instead of just giving you the big picture of their talk, so there's nothing actually actionable, instead I want to give you a strategy from each person that you can take and deploy into your business immediately. Starting with a guy called Phil Harris, who actually started as a client with us many years ago, and he's gone on to scale his business tremendously. He teaches people how to DJ and how to create electronic dance music, and he's big on Instagram. He's built an Instagram following, and he monetizes that following really well. And he shared a tip in his presentation. In fact, it had loads of them, but I want to hone in on just one that you can action straight away. Some people online know what it takes to grow an audience on social media. Far fewer people know how to actually make money from it. Lots of people have followers and have likes and have engagement, but they're broke. They don't know how to extract cash and clients from that audience. One of the things that Phil was talking about was how in most of his posts, he'll have a call to action to message a specific word to him in the DMs if they're interested in exploring coaching or training. Now, you can use tools like ManyChat to reply back automatically with a message or with a conversation thread based on the initial entry point of someone messaging you a specific word. Now, this is becoming quite overused. It's also very obvious that it is what we would call a chatbot, right? You message a word, you instantly get a reply, it feels very generic, you know it's a chatbot, and you go through and have this conversation. Well, Phil shared how what he's doing is recording audio messages that he can put into that conversation thread, and it feels far more personal and far more attractive to the prospect on the other side. So they message a word, and instead of getting a text reply, they get an audio message from him. He delays it by a couple of hours to make it feel even more real. And then the audio message says, "Hey, thanks so much for your interest in getting some help from me. Sorry it's taken me a couple hours to get back to you. Pretty slammed with everyone that's messaging. Here's the next best thing for you to do. I've got a link to my webinar that I'm attaching down below. Go ahead and check that out. And if you have further questions, jump back in here and ask me." And he's getting some fantastic results with that because it feels far more personal than a text message. So implement that straight away. I think you'll see some improvement in the engagement that you're getting on social. The next tip is actually from yours truly. I shared something from stage called the conversion timeline. And I was talking about how if you've got someone at 0 who has no idea who you are, and you've got someone at a 10 where they are ready with credit card in hand trying to throw it at you to become a client, we've got to be very strategic and very careful with when and how we get people on the phone. If you do any kind of conversations on Zoom or on the phone to sign up potential clients, you might be falling into the trap of speaking to people when they're only down at a 2. This would be someone refers you somebody and you just take that referral and the first point of contact is, "Hey, let's jump on the phone." That person is only up to a 1 or a 2. They don't know you yet. They don't trust you yet. All they've had is a referral, which has got their trust up to a 1 or a 2, but certainly not to a 10. So you've got to get someone from a 2 to a 10 on that phone call, and you've got to disqualify them or qualify them on that phone call as well. What we need are leveraged marketing systems that will get someone to a 6 or a 7 and disqualify people in the process before you ever get on the phone. And if you only speak to 6s or 7s, you've eliminated manual work to approve them, but now you've got someone much closer to a 10, so that phone conversation is going to be so much easier. So take that strategy into whatever you're doing. Analyze whether you are getting people far enough up the conversion timeline. And if you aren't, you'll probably want to check out something like a webinar. I use webinars to get people to a 6 or a 7, and they still work fantastically well today. In fact, if you want to know the specific framework from start to finish for a webinar that converts strangers into clients, I've got a free resource for you. It's called the No Pitch Webinar Blueprint. I've made tens of millions of dollars online using webinars, and I've broken it down into a step-by-step framework that you can follow from start to finish. This thing is absolutely amazing, and it's my free gift to you. Just tell me where to send it. There's a link in the description box or the top comment. Do go ahead and grab that. I think you'll really find it helpful. The third tip I want to share comes from my speaker, Matt Wilson, great friend of mine in the industry, also teaches marketing education, and he focused and honed in on this concept called the trust timer. And it was fantastic. The audience absolutely loved it, as I'm sure you will right now. We've got to realize that we are in a time in marketing where there is so much competition, there's so much noise, there's so much mess and chaos on social media that to get someone's attention and to turn that into a conversion does take time. And we are following the data and the clues that indicate the people that spend the most money, the people that convert the highest, are often the people that spend the most time with us. So picture it like a trust timer. If you have someone see an ad from you, opt onto your list, and within 5 minutes they're hit with a sales pitch, okay, or they're hit with an offer, their trust timer hasn't been ticking very long. You haven't built up enough trust with them yet for them to be ready to invest with you. So we want to see that trust timer continue a bit longer. We want to put them into things like webinars. We want to put them into nurture sequences. We want to follow up with them over the coming days, weeks, and months on our email list. And eventually, when that trust timer is full, when they've had enough time and content from us, and therefore the trust building, they'll be ready to invest. So don't neglect people that don't convert straight away. Nurture them and then pick up those sales later. The fourth tip comes from Tom Breeze. Now, if you don't know Tom, he is one of the foremost experts on the topic of YouTube advertising. In fact, I'm considered one of the foremost experts when it comes to YouTube advertising, and it was Tom that initially got me onto this topic. I had Tom speak at one of my events back in, I think it was 2016. And he gave me the kick up the butt and said, John, get on YouTube. And we did, and we've never looked back. And we've gotten very good at it too. So any opportunity to have Tom back and put him in front of my audience, I'm very happy to do so. And Tom shared where he feels the whole game of YouTube advertising is going. And it's very important that you know. We are at a time right now where, similarly to what Matt was talking about with the trust timer, where we want to extend the time between, finding a prospect and converting them, Tom was also saying that he sees YouTube advertising going in that same direction. We've for a long time now had 1 to 2 minute ads, and they still work. Those short, snappy, skippable ads that are 1 to 2 minutes, they still work very, very well. So don't hear what we're not saying. We are still using those very successfully and making millions of dollars. Tom is predicting, as we go into the future, into the next year or two, that more and more we're going to find that we need to bring that trust timer, we need to bring the value proposition right there onto the ad platform. Right now, we're currently getting someone's attention with an ad platform, and we provide value in a sales funnel. And Tom is predicting that we need to be shifting the value we present right there on the ad platform. So that would look like maybe longer ads, maybe 5-minute ads, maybe 10-minute ads, maybe even 15-minute ads. So a lot of what you would have had to have done in a sales funnel just moves over, it just shifts over to the beginning of the process, so that when they get into the sales funnel, they're already pre-sold. So that was something that he gave as a heads up to the audience, and I want to give you that same heads up now so you can be tracking your marketing and going in that direction over the coming months and years to come. The fifth thing I want to focus on comes from Sally Lawson, a fantastic friend of mine in the space. She was in the real estate industry, and she now coaches real estate agents on how they can grow their portfolio of clients and properties that they service, and of course how they can grow their income. And she was sharing from stage this concept of building a tribe. In other words, build a community within your client base. There is not one thing I can pick from her presentation to share with you right now. So with this one in particular, I want to give you just a little bit of an overview of her presentation. She was talking about how marketing nowadays is very one-dimensional. It's, we get someone's attention, we send them into a sales funnel, they convert or they don't, and then we move on. And if they become a client, we deliver on that, the stuff that we promised that client, and then that's it. We just move on, we find another client. And she was focusing on the value, like the true financial value to a company that can increase the average value per client. If you have a client that comes in and loves what they've received, then of course you're going to get upgrades, you're going to get renewals, those people are going to spend more time with you, and she was focusing on this concept of tribe. What you want to do amongst all these other things that are just obvious, common sense things that we want to do to increase the results our clients get, so therefore they want to upgrade. Alongside all of that stuff, we want to create a sense of community, not just throwing your clients into a Facebook group and just let them chat together in that group, but truly building community, doing award dinners if you have your clients in your local area, doing Zoom calls where you celebrate success, encourage networking between your clients in a way that you as the company owner can facilitate. Make people feel special with gifts and prizes and all of these things. Take some ideas from this as to how you can build a sense of true family and community with your clients. And if you do that, they will gel together. And if you do that, they won't want to leave, and that will increase the value proposition that they bring to the business. Number 6 comes from a guy called Dean Holland. I've known Dean for many, many years, a tremendously successful online marketer and entrepreneur. And he was sharing with us, because a lot of the people in the room are selling high ticket stuff. We're selling courses, we're selling coaching, we're selling services. So he was sharing how you can just tweak your front end just a little bit to liquidate ad spend, attract the right type of people to your business before you even first start talking about your high ticket offer. It's quite an attractive proposition, right? If you're spending all this money on advertising right now in the hopes that we can recoup some of that by signing up some high ticket clients, what if we could have something on the front end that liquidates ad spend by itself? So we spend $10,000, we make $10,000 before we've ever even spoken about our high ticket offer. And the way that he does this is by introducing a book. And he was talking about how it's really not that difficult right now to self-publish your own book, get it printed inexpensively. It's not challenging, it's not difficult, it just takes a bit of time to sit down and do that. But then you can have a free plus ship offer on the front end that some of you will be familiar with, where your front end is that they click from an ad and they come and check out your book. And if your book is perfectly positioned to position the high ticket coaching, if the topic matches perfectly, then people are going to grab a copy of your book. They're going to go through that process. Maybe you've got some one-time offers that you make them through that funnel. You get as close to breaking even on the ad spend as much as you can. And now you've got a list of buyers that are ready and primed to hear about your high ticket coaching. Furthermore, Dean was talking about how the value of someone who purchases a book is infinitely more valuable than someone who purchases an online course. So you can have what we would call a tripwire offer. That is what we're talking about here, a low ticket offer that is a tripwire for moving on to something more expensive. You can do that with a book, or you could do that by just selling an infographic or just selling an online course. But somebody who buys a book is demonstrating what type of person they are. They love to learn, they love to consume. Readers are leaders is a phrase that you may have heard before. So they are more valuable if the entry point into your business was by purchasing a book. So some food for thought for you. Maybe you want to implement something like that in the front end of your business. And the 7th thing, and I actually found this very, very fascinating, was Neil Patel. Flew him all the way over from Las Vegas to come and speak at our event here in London, and he was talking on the topic of Google SEO. And the biggest takeaway for me actually comes from a private interview, one-on-one, that I did with Neil Patel backstage. I was quizzing him on where the Google SEO game is right now. How easy is it? How difficult is it? What should we focus on? How do we bring AI into the mix? And the overriding takeaway was that Neil was saying it is easier now to do Google SEO than it was a couple of years ago. We have to focus on the basics. Lots of people, when it comes to Google SEO and trying to get sites ranked and getting articles ranked, is we think there's a really complex system to the algorithm, and we've got to deploy all of these sophisticated systems, and it's going to take ages to see any meaningful results. And I remember all the way back in 2012 and 2013, I used to do Google SEO, and it was so much easier back then. Then in the years following, it became harder. And now Neil is saying we're coming out the other end. And actually, if we go back to the basics, it's actually becoming easy again. Now, rather than trying to pick out just one thing I can share with you, the best thing for you to do next is just check out the full interview. I'll pin it right here. Go over there, check out the interview with me and Neil. I think you'll find it tremendously insightful. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, give me a thumbs up on this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.